This video is a how to rig a Slug-Go video or re-rig a Slug-Go video so it's bulletproof. And I got Luke from Yeehaw here to demonstrate because I just use them out of the packet. And Luke put one of those ones out of the packet on the line tester and it didn't give out until the line tester said 28 kilos. And you got to be pulling real hard before you're going to pull out on 28 kilos. But anyway, Luke's tested the ones that he's rigged up to 35 kilos and nothing failed. So if you're targeting massive kingfish on a Slug-Go, then I reckon this is the way you do it.
The rig Slug-Go, we're going to re-rig this one. The rigging on them is already strong. We've tested on the machine up to 28 kilos. But if you're going out there and targeting real big kingies and you just want to make sure nothing will fail, this is kind of a bit more of a never fail rig. So need a Slug-Go. Pre-rigged. We're going to need 2 needles. We need an open eye bait needle, which will be the length of the Slug-Go, which compared to one that I've rigged here already. Just making sure that the needle is longer than the 2 holes on the Slug-Go we're going to be re-rigging. We need a loop needle. So let's just go a small stainless loop. They're just called loop needle. I think this is a medium size. Assist cord. This stuff's 170 pound and we want a soft assist cord. So this stuff here is a PE assist cord, 170 pound. 2 different hooks. We need a ringed hook and a non-ringed hook. The ring hook will be for the front of the bait, the non-ring hook for the back of the bait. And we'll show you how to use those in a second. Scissors and a bit of super glue just to finish it off. Let's get rigging. Feels like a waste, but we're just going to make a good product even better. So yeah, like we said, like the rigging's good in between them, but if you want stronger hooks and a stronger attachment, we're just going to show you how to beef them up. And like we said, we're making them Milan tough because he breaks everything. For anyone who's watched the show,
It used to be me that broke everything.
now you're behind the camera,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
breaks everything. So we've pulled the front hook out. Basically, we're deconstructing it, and we want the Dacron, we want the ones with the Dacron already in there because that's going to give us somewhere to put the needle. So we pull the front hook out, cut that one off, and then we're going to slide. We're just going to work this one slowly because the rigs are molded into the bait, so we actually need to break the soft bait away from the hook. And you just do that slowly, making sure not to break the lure. And you can feel it when it comes away. You'll feel everything start pulling away from the hook. Just use medium force. Just keep slowly sliding it, and once it's actually detached, it'll just slowly slide out. That's it. So this one here is just attached by a piece of 50-pound Dacron. Again, rated to over 28 kilos, but we're going to make it stronger. Now, unrigged soft bait. We need our hooks. We need a ringed hook to the front. And our unringed hook to the back of the lure. Assist cord, let's get making. So the assist cord, this stuff here has a hollow core inside of it. So if you open it up, you can actually pull the inner core out, which will make it hollow. It's not taking any of the strength away, it's actually an extra core inside the leader. We're going to make sure we have enough. Pull it off. Pull our inner core out. Basically just hold one end, and once you get the core coming, it'll just slide out. Inner core, you can use that for rigging a snapper assist hook. And now we have our hollow piece of assist cord to rig the 2 hooks together. I made that one a bit short actually, but that'll work. Okay, to start this process off, we're going to rig the front hook first. The reason why we do this is so that we get the length of the assist hook cord right. We want the cord length right so that when the lure's rigged, it's nice and straight and it's not bent or anything. So we'll start off by rigging the front hook. This cord here is incredibly strong when threaded inside itself. It only needs to be inside 1.5 to 2 inches. And so once we've got the length we sort of want, we're going to jump inside the sleeve and go down about 2 inches and pop the needle out. on this end here, thread our hook on. Important to go through the ring, not through the hook, but through the actual solid ring, because when we're fighting the kingy, especially if it's on the back hook, that cord is now attached to that solid ring and not the ring of the hook. We're going to put that assist cord through the loop, and we're going to work this down inside this piece here. And you're just going to roll it. Once it gets to that point there, you're just going to start rolling it with your fingers, and that'll help work it inside the hollow core. We're just trying to open it up and allow both strands to go through. Let it off. Okay, and we don't want a big loop or anything here, so if we pull that nice and tight down to the eye, and then we slide that back along the tag end, that there will make a nice seamless join. Cut that tag end off with Nathan's sharp scissors, and just basically slide that back over and make that nice and seamless. So that's nice, strong, easy, no knot, keeps our lure nice and straight. Now the hard part, we've got to now feed this piece through the lure, and to do that we're going to use this, basically it's an open eye live bait needle. Okay. Again, always make sure that needle's longer than between the two holes. This one here is a Centro live bait needle, and you can just close the eye up a little bit with the pliers. Some of them come nice, but we just want the smallest gap possible. To start, we're just going to come in where the hook was, and usually you can find, if you get in the channel of where everything was, the needle goes down the soft bait pretty easily. You just slowly work it down. Disclaimer, the needle is sharp, so it will poke through. Make sure it doesn't poke into your hand. If it does poke through the bait like that, just bring it back enough so you're getting away from the edge, and then keep going. You will find that every so often you will go through the side or anything like that. It's not too big of a deal. Slowly working the bait down till we get to the hole, till we get to where the back hook comes out. And we're just going to try and get that needle to pop out of that hole. You can see the needle's turned up, and slide that. Now when we get to this point here, we don't want to cover that eye just yet, but we want it so that the soft bait's up against it. So when we loop this Dacron, we can pull that eye back, pull the soft bait back away from the eye, put the Dacron in the loop, and then push the soft bait, and the soft bait will go back over it, holding it there in place. Now we're going to work this inside the lure. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to keep sliding the soft bait along the Dacron while pushing this needle out. So we'll push the needle out on one end and then slide it along the Dacron. You don't want to pull on it too hard, and you want to keep working it down this assist cord. If you don't, you'll find you end up just pulling the assist cord off halfway inside the bait, and you have to start again. Just keep working it down nicely. When you're getting close to the end, just get ready for that to come out, and then pull the rest through. Pull that down. Now we've got the assist cord running all the way through the bait. Now time to attach our second hook. So again, at the start here, to get this right, what we want to do is we want to feed this hook back out through where the old hook was running. So we're going to go down through the bait, out the hole. And we're going to work this all the way through, pull the whole thing out of that hole that was already there. And then we're going to pull the cord at the back, and we're going to slide that all the way back up and then allow it to go into the soft bait. Now I find to get the measurement right, if you run that hook how it would be, how you think you'd need it for fishing, it seems to make the perfect length. Now, standard Kadaku 5-burrow hook, thread onto the line, and we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to thread this Dacron inside itself for a 2-inch section. Move it around. Alright, so we want a place where we kind of want it, about there. Come together here, come into the assist cord, slide that up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, pop it out, tag end through the loop needle, switch sides, sorry, tag end inside the Dacron, tag end inside the assist cord, and we're just going to work that down inside, same as before, just rolling as it goes over the 2 layers. We're trying to open up this thread and allow these other 2 to pass through, so just rolling it with your fingers will help work it down over the whole lot. At this point here, you want to take your time with it, and you don't want to force it. You don't want to pull on the needle and break the needle. You just keep working it down. Pull it through, take that off, pull this down so it's nice and tight on the eye of the hook. The same thing, we don't want a big loop left here, so we want to pull that down nice and tight on the hook, and then slide that piece back over the top nice and tight, cut the excess off, and that'll slide down over the top, and that there's created a nice seamless join that is incredibly strong with the 170-pound cord. Now time to pull all this back through, align it the way we want it, and go fishing.
Oh, go fishing!
Now lots more to do before that, eh? Like fill the boat up, rig the boat, make lunch.
No, that's your job now, man.
Alright, now's the fun part. If you're ready.
Yep.
Now's the fun part, to make it look pretty again. Be careful, now you've got 2 extremely sharp hooks. Pays to take your time with this part. You're going to pull this front hook up, and that'll pull this back hook into place. You just slowly work this one up, and as that one goes into there, just help ease it into the hole so it doesn't rip it or tear it or anything. Just going to slowly pull that in there. Be careful, it is an incredibly sharp hook. Just going to work that inside the lure. You can help it by just pushing it in there. Push it into the point where you need it. This one here, we now have a little bit of extra cord, and we're just going to work that one back up and out the top of the lure. Up through the hole that's already in there. And out the top. We've got our little solid ring. This takes a little bit of fiddling around, but we want that solid ring to sit nice and proud. So just get everything in place. Pull everything so it's all nice and straight. Make sure that ring's nice and easy to get to. Super glue. This is just the final little touch. You can fish it how it is, but I find if you put a little bit of super glue on it, it just keeps everything held together nice and the hooks won't slip or move, and it seems to last through quite a few fish. So we just put a little bit for the back hook, hold that in place. Same for the front hook. You can find some super glue with a nozzle so you can actually push some in there, and then a little bit in the front. Push it down into the front of the lure. If there's any excess, it's alright. Just wipe it off, leave it to dry. And then that's our rig Slug-Go. Nice and straight. 2 incredibly strong 5-burrow hooks, 170-pound cord attaching the 2, and a real easy solid ring to either tie to, or we can use our split ring like we do on our other stick baits, and so we can swap our stick bait out for a Slug-Go. It's quick, like super quick. And she's ready to go fishing.
Alrighty, that's it. That is how to re-rig a Slug-Go Luke Styles, and he's tested it to 35 kilos and nothing's failed. So it's all good in my mind. You can't break it.
I think you guys had this on the episode where you're pitching these at the marker pole.
Yeah.
Incredibly strong galv hook. No connection or anything else to worry about. So when you're tying onto this, you're basically tying direct onto your one hook. You don't have the added bonus of having a second hook, but being that it's a galvanized hook, they're incredibly strong, and it's got a bit of extra weight to it. So it's a 1/2 ounce hook as well. So a little bit of extra weight to help you cast. So at least on a heavy set, you can get a bit more cast on it. And for that one, we're going to rig the unrig. So the unrig come in a 3-pack. And so the good thing about this is incredibly strong for if you're fishing heavy line. And to do this one, we always want the hook coming out the bottom. So the same as the rigged ones. We want the hook coming out the bottom because we want it to sink going down, so there's lots of action. If you rig it out the top is okay, but we actually want the lure to sink falling down to give the most action. Put the hook, we would be with the eye coming out, where that shank of the hook's going to come out of the soft bait. I usually just mark with my thumb. I get the tip of the hook and I just basically just make like a little cut. That's where the hook's going to come out of. You can use a vivid and make a dot. I find just cutting it with the tip of the hook, coming right in the middle of the bait. These are very tough, so it takes a bit of pressure. Again, watch out not to hook yourself. Come down, and then you'll see, you can get with the tip of the hook, you can see sort of pressure on it, and you'll be able to get the hook just to come out where that cut is. So it'll come out of there. Slide the bait onto the hook keeper. Pull that in place, and that's your bait rigged. So nice and quick, incredibly strong, and so you're just tying directly onto the eye. So when you're fighting the fish, you've got nothing to let go. And real strong.